His way to midfield, Brian Kelly coming across the field for LSU. Man, the Hogs fought today. It was quite a football game, but LSU comes away with a 13-10 victory.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Last season, you won a lot of one-possession football games. This season hasn't been as kind, and you lose another one on Saturday as Arkansas falls to LSU in a tightly contested game where your defense gave you every opportunity to win. Unfortunately, the offense did not answer the bell. Welcome into Hot Take Monday alongside Tommy Kraft. I'm Ty Richardson. Our number this morning, 877-377-6963. I apologize if you're a Dallas Cowboy and Arkansas fan because both your teams lost in excruciating ways over the weekend.
Why are you apologizing? Do you have something to do with it?
The Packers won. I was happy about that, but for the Dallas Cowboys fans, this Mike McCarthy's return to Lambeau did not go according to plan as a lot thought it would.
That's a good football game, though, an overtime game. Hey, it's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. I bet we have some hot takes today. Following the way it played out Saturday in Fayetteville. Wheels RV is 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance. Best prices, best price for your trade-in as well. It's all waiting for you. Plus, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Thought Bob Holt made a great point in the press conference how during this football game, no KJ Jefferson captain, no Jalen Catalon captain, he's out for the season, no Dalton Wagner for this game, he was injured, Tykeus Crawford filled in and really just got eaten alive by Harold Perkins. And no offense to Tykeus, I mean, that dude's a freshman All-American. He might be at some point the SEC Player of the Year. He's unbelievable, and Tykeus just wasn't ready for that matchup, it looked like, which is not an easy one to command by any shape, way, or form. But you think about Bob's point, the fact that, Tommy, 3 of your 4 captains didn't even participate on Saturday. That's a tough ask for a football team with leadership issues to come through, and they just weren't able to at the end.
You know, I had the highly profound, well-thought-out take after the game that, well, it's another game that if KJ plays, you win. It didn't take a lot of analysis to figure that out, but, you know, one of the replies, and spot on, is maybe if Dalton Wagner was the one that played, you win. And that could very well be true in a game that was as tight as this because of the points you just made. Arkansas had no way to block up or stop, slow down, however you want to describe it, Perkins in that game, who lived. Seemed like he knew the snap count and lived in the backfield, and Arkansas never could truly find the answer at quarterback, and they just looked like a ship without its complete captain, without its complete leadership offensively. Missed a couple of just key opportunities early because LSU was just handing out gifts. I mean, that was the recipe to beat a top 10 team. Turnovers on a short field, a couple of early opportunities, grab momentum. You end up with 3, could have ended up with 14 in the early stages of this ball game, and the way it played out, 14 obviously would have been enough.
Les agrees with you. If KJ plays, he feels like that they win against LSU. He also feels like things are just not lined up this year. We need depth. We need consistency. Be patient, folks. Remember where we were at 3 years ago. Now, to the point about the quarterback position, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think Cade Forden played bad. He just didn't have any time to throw. I mean, you think about some of the incompletions he had. He was just getting hit. Even on the touchdown he had to Matt Landers, go watch who walloped him in the backfield. That would be Mr. Harold Perkins, who, by the way, as a true freshman, you're going to have to see for 2 more years. Not fun. 2 more years of Harold Perkins, who I only can assume is going to get better at the linebacker position for the LSU Tigers. So I really didn't think, again, Cade played that bad. He just didn't have any time to throw the football. When he did, I felt like he put in places where his receivers could go up and make a play.
No, that's a valid point. You know, the question is, why is this offensive line? And one part of it is, you had Wagner out and you were trying someone new in Crawford on that line. That's part of the answer, but that's back-to-back weeks the offensive line has not lived up to the standard they've created for themselves. You know, this isn't a standard that we've heaped on them as media or fans or sitting here talking about it around the campfire this morning. This is a standard they created by display of their play. So that's frustrating because, again, fair or unfair, you got a head coach who's a former offensive line coach. You just maybe expect a bit more out of that part of your team. I don't know if that's fair, but that's the way it is.
We asked the question what the depth was like in the offensive line behind the starters. I think we got our answer. I mean, I've heard nothing but positive things about Tykees Crawford all offseason and during the season about how he's ready to go. We found out he wasn't. And again, he's in a tough matchup, a tough situation. Freshman All-American he's having to go up against, but he got eaten alive all day long. And it wasn't just him. I mean, anytime Perkins rushed, I felt like he was going to get to Forden or Hornsby. And even when he was in spy situations when Malik was in the game, he was tracking him down. He was running him down. That shows you how talented that young man is on the other side of the football. Quick phone call early on. Jared in Russellville. Go ahead, man. You're on a Hot Take Monday.
Hey, good morning, fellas. I would like to ask you a couple questions on both. First of all, did you think that the defensive team had a great game plan?
100%. Barry Odom did a fantastic job. Jay Daniels was playing out of his mind the last 4 weeks, and they shut him up on Saturday.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that Barry Odom saw how good the quarterback was and had a game plan for him, right? So my second question is this. Number 40 has been a terror all year long. How does your probably a first-round draft pick center say at the end of the game plan, or end of the game, he had no game plan at all for him? How does that happen? I ain't going to listen.
Jared, I think that's a great question. You're referring to Ricky Stromberg after the game with being asked the question. I got the audio. We'll play it at some point this morning. Yeah, there wasn't a game plan for him. Well, I would think in that situation, especially even after the first half, you might shift some things around. And again, I don't know. I can't tell you every single check, every single blocking scheme within an offensive line coach, but that is your freshman all-SEC, not freshman, all-SEC center, a guy that is highly respectable up front. And I was just as confused as Jared was that there wasn't a specific game plan. You game plan for specific game records, and that's exactly what Harold Perkins did on Saturday. If you have to bring Trey Knox over to chip, if you check Rocket into passing block situations or Rashad or whoever's in the game, just didn't seem like they adjusted at all, which to your point, if you have a head coach that's an offensive line genius, you would expect some changes within that.
And it's not something, yes, game plan, we'll hear from Ricky Stromberg on that's one thing. In game, sometimes you have a great game plan against a great player, and even the adjustments aren't enough. And I don't know if that's the case Saturday again. I'm not going to sit here and try to be the mechanic or the tactician on this because we'll all make fools of ourselves. But clearly they didn't have answers. And that's the bottom line. They just didn't have answers for this. Now, you run out of opportunities. The bigger thing that comes out of this game, you're still not bowl eligible, and now your backs are pressed, starting to be firmly against the wall. Ole Miss, who lost, they're reeling. They don't need help to get bowl eligible. Missouri, same kind of situation. They're looking to make some noise. So you got one of two games just to get yourself in the clear for the postseason. Hey, if you went to the game this weekend and you wanted to keep up with other games, particularly after the game, I know it was cold, but there was still a lot of tailgating going on. I walked back to the car through the gardens. There were a lot of people watching that 2:30 game with Bama and Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. If your satellite system or your cable hookup at the game isn't working the way you need it to, or you're listening to us from Deer Camp this morning and you didn't get to see anything because you have no way to watch, hey, World of Wireless has the Playmaker system. You can buy or rent them from World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH for the details. Weighs 8 pounds. It's a cube. You set it out. It finds all the satellites in the sky for you. 877-305-DISH. They're on sale now at World of Wireless.
Talk a little more about this game when we come back.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Rentals.com.
I stand by more of the Morning Rush coming up in just a few minutes. We'll continue to talk about the Arkansas and LSU game, all of that on the way. Plus, we'll take your phone calls. 877-305-DISH is the number for World of Wireless. 877 305-3474 if you want to call WOW now. All right, more of the Morning Rush on the way in 30 seconds right here.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson gets the snap. Here comes the rush. KJ in the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. Matt Landers caught another one. His third touchdown reception of the day.
Tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Got a bunch of texts and calls that we'll get to coming up again. It's a Hot Take Monday. Feel free to get in here, 877-377-6963.
All right, Chuck coming up in about 15 minutes as well. I know a lot of you went hunting this weekend. A few of you went fishing because I saw you on Facebook out there. And boy, was it a cold weekend right across the water. You need to have the tackle box loaded up. If you're headed out to do some crappie fishing right now, you need the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. It's the #1 volume lure out of the 20 fishing brands that's made by Pradco right here in Arkansas. In fact, they're made by the millions over in Fort Smith. So if you're looking to load up the tackle box with something that's going to get you them slab crappie, they've got them with the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. It's the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the country. Working on a light jig head or underneath a float, it's going to be as productive as live bait. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Randall messaging in on YouTube. He feels like coaching lost the game, including the A&M and Mississippi State game. That's where his take is this morning.
A lot of people question the decision to go for it on fourth down twice. Hindsight's always 20/20 in these. We'll dive into that a little bit more.
I wonder, because I had questions. Derek was talking about that after again. Don't you want to instill confidence in Malik that you can score? Because if you keep settling, you say, we're not going for it on fourth, or we're just going to kick the field goal. That, to me, it was like, all right, Malik, we don't think you could do it. But that coaching staff was like, Malik, we think you can score here. We think you can convert on the fourth down. It backfired, and they didn't on both occasions. But that's at least the pushback I had a little bit, that you're trying to instill confidence in a guy in the backup quarterback position.
I felt like Coach was trying to put his foot on the gas. In hindsight, though, it became a game where every point was precious. Mm-hmm. Every possession was precious because it ended up being a extremely low-scoring game. And so those kind of decisions get magnified. I think because of the weather, I think the coaches on both sides had a good feel that points were going to be at a premium because the cold weather was going to create some problems, as we saw it do throughout the game. And the wind was a bit of an issue as well, but mainly the cold conditions. So I think they had a pretty good feel they were going to end up in a game that 20-something points would win it, and turned out to be far less than that. But I think the coaches would probably tell you before the game they felt like it wasn't going to take nearly as many points this week. But I bet they didn't even dream it would be 13-10.
Yeah. Let's hear from Danny in Russellville. Danny, go ahead, man.
Yeah, the problem is, guys, when we go for it on fourth down, we go backwards. Congratulations to the coaches on defense to finally decide to let us play. The second half of Liberty, in this game, we've given up 13 points. What's different? We attacked. Instead of dropping 8 and trying to give the quarterback all day to pick us apart, we got after him. And Liberty taught us how to play defense. And if we'll continue to do that, we'll have a chance to win these last 2 games. Hey, let's face it, guys. Malik is just not accurate. He just has trouble passing, and that's not going to get it. I don't care how fast you are. Like you said, we had KJ against Liberty, but they got after us. Not only, this is a good recipe. I wish we'd done it all year. Not only against the pass, but we we blitz to stop the run, and we're going to have to do that against Ole Miss because they constantly go for it on fourth down, guys. And I was really pleased with the defense. I really was. McAdoo looks good, cornerback, and Hudson Clark, he looks much better at safety. And anyway, guys, there's hopes for the future, but you got to let your guys play. We got players on defense. I call that coaching, have not let them play. Anyway, guys, you have a good day and go Hogs.
Thanks, Danny. Yeah, you might have found something in the young man Quincy McAdoo, who's looked really good in his two. He's actually started this past game, and when they threw it over that side, there weren't many catches that were made. Quincy seemed to be up in the opposing player consistently, and I don't know. As Coach said, he's welcome to move back to wide receiver at the end of the season and once spring starts. But I don't know if he's going to want to, based on the way he's played cornerback thus far.
Well, here's my only problem with Danny's take. Danny's operating under the assumption, and those that feel the way Danny operating under the assumption that Quincy McAdoo could do this from day one. That there's been no development along the way. That, hey, if we'd have just put him over there back in July or August, this was the kind of performance we'd have had the entire season for 10 games now. Well, I don't think you can operate under that assumption. I think players get better as the season goes on, even when they're not playing. They're getting better in practice. So, Danny, it's frustrating because now you're seeing a player make major contributions thrust into the opportunity by injuries that set him up for the opportunity. But the idea that Quincy McAdoo would have come out and been equally the same player in September, I don't think I can't quite get on board with that because I don't think we know that. I don't think Quincy McAdoo would probably tell you that would have been the case.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of development,
particularly a freshman like this.
Next caller, Brent's in Stuttgart. Go ahead, Brent.
Yes, Tommy and Ty. Yep. Good morning. Monday morning to you. I got tongue tied.
Well, it's cold outside. So.
I've got one thing to say about this season, and I hope that from now on, I hope springs eternal, and that we are able to end the season on as high a note as we've begun the past two seasons. We need to be consistent throughout the entire season. And my only take on Saturday is that what Malik Hornsby could do, we were unable to do because of the speed of LSU's defensive front and linebackers. And another take I have is the SEC is not a place for a first-time head coach to learn how to be a head coach. I mean, there's just certain times you don't go for it. On 4th and 8 from our 50, and we lose yards, and it shrinks the field for our defense, who played great all day.
It wasn't. Brent, it wasn't 4th and 8. It wasn't that. I don't think he would have gone for it if it was that long. But it is difficult. And Brent, we appreciate your call. Sam's been a head coach before. He's coached in this league as an assistant for quite some time. It's not easy as a first-time coach in this league, but I don't know if we necessarily need to go there this morning.
All right, Chuck coming up. We'll get some of his thoughts. Do you like paying your rent or mortgage? None of us do. How about winning $15,000 to pay rent or mortgage the rest of the year? Not this year, for the next year. Real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at USA Mortgage are giving you the chance to win $15,000. Register today at hitthatline.com. Chuck joins us next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, and football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, well, go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Farewell complications. Later stress. Goodbye business hours. Want a new level of banking convenience? Say hello to the Arvest Go mobile banking app from Arvest Bank. With Arvest Go, you can deposit checks, pay bills, log lost or stolen debit cards. You can even pay people directly with just a tap. Arvest Go lets you bank virtually anytime, anywhere. And it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities. Arvest Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
It's getting colder outside. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. So why pay more to heat your home and water? The convenience and abundant supply of American-produced natural gas makes it the right choice. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The teams that do well have the quarterback that's the combo guy. I mean, everybody wants a quarterback that can run. The days of the prototypical NFL-type quarterback, you don't see a lot of those in college football. You just don't anymore. Everybody wants what Arkansas and LSU have.
Arkansas hasn't done a great job the last 2 games running the football, and I know Coach Pittman's been frustrated about that. We'll hear what he had to say as we welcome Chuck into the conversation coming up in just 1 sec.
Hot Take Monday, as always, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands and the best prices. The best part about Wheels is that peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. Plus, they even have a mobile service shuttle to help keep you camping. It's all at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Good morning, Chuck.
Guys, how's it going? Everybody okay?
Everybody's
Sun come
good.
up?
Warm. We're in the heat. So
That's right.
Dry. All those things.
That's right.
Don't have any deer meat. Don't have any deer tenderloins here.
I have a friend that killed a deer. I enjoyed some deer sausage.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. It was good.
Yeah. So, what'd you think? I mean, it was a tough one. It's always a bitter pill to swallow, and I guess the third time this year you've had to kind of swallow that one possession loss pill in an SEC game.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough Saturday. The defense played great, played their best game of the year, and the offense struggled. And they, Arkansas couldn't throw the ball. They weren't really a threat to throw the ball. And until Fortin came in, and I thought that had a lot to do with it Saturday. I thought it's one of the reasons LSU was able to do a lot of the things they wanted to defensively and tee off on the quarterback. And it was a different game than the Liberty game, but at the end of the day, they still lost. And it was a close game, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, you were talking about just the inability to throw the football. I know that's a piece of sound we played in the Give Me the Hogs Chuck podcast, and Coach Pittman talking about that if you're not a threat to throw it, you're going to have problems. And I just felt like Malik didn't uncork it at all. He just was timid, and he didn't let it fly. Was that y'all's opinion on watching him play the first
Well,
half?
I just don't think Malik's strength is throwing the football. I don't think he frankly threw all that much differently than he does most days. His strength is not throwing. His strength is with his legs. His strength is making people miss. And, I think that showed. Now, he was running for his life a lot. I'm not going to say that he was back there with plenty of time and just made bad passes. I mean, he was running for his life a good bit. But that's just not the strength of his game.
Well, and his strength, like you said, is the speed, and Harold Perkins matched that or exceeded that speed, had the angles a lot of times, and I don't know if they ran it once or 55 times in the game. There was a lot of times where Malik went for the edge, just trying to get an angle, and he had a few 9- and 10-yard gains, but there were a lot of times, Chuck, that got him at or near the line of scrimmage just because the speed of Perkins and that LSU defense matched him.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Perkins is 6'2" and 230, and he's running stride for stride with Malik. And the thing about that is it's not like KJ where he might fall off of him.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 6'2", 230 sprinting at 6'2", 180, I can tell you who's going down. And I thought that happened a lot. I don't think Arkansas's running backs broke very many tackles.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just the offensive line. They just look. LSU's defense is really good. I mean, it's really good. Their down linemen are good. Mekhi Wingo made a big play down there at the goal line. He's a player that left Mizzou. That Ronnie's brother, and we sure would have liked to have had him. But he ended up going down there, and he made a big play. They're good defensively. I mean, they're going to Atlanta, guys. I mean, it's not like Arkansas got beat by a lousy team Saturday. They played the 7th-ranked team and the SEC West champion to a field goal. And at the end of the day, and that was with their backup quarterback, with 2 backup quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, LSU just had a little more.
Yeah, well, in the end, I think we've heard it in the callers' voices this morning, the frustration of back-to-back weeks. You lose by 2 or 3 points is what's happened the last couple of weeks. You pair that with the A&M game, and as I was saying earlier, a third time this year you've lost by single digits, single possession type losses. And I think when you do it back-to-back weeks, it amps up and ratchets up the frustration.
Well, it does. When you look at, the big picture and you look at where we are as a program and the progress that we've made over the last 3 years, it's almost like this year and last year were backwards. I mean, a lot of the things that are happening this year, you might think would happen last year, and then you culminate, in that third year with a 9-4 season. But so many of the breaks that Arkansas got last year, they've not gotten this year. And, guys, I mentioned this on the podcast. I mean, when they walked out there against Cincinnati, their 4 captains were KJ, Catalon, Poole, and Wagner. 3 of those guys didn't play Saturday. Not just good players, captains, leaders, guys that dictate everything that happens. That didn't happen last year. Dominique Johnson scored 7 touchdowns last year, leading touchdown maker among the running backs. He hadn't been a factor at all this year. Now, Rocket's had a great year, but it's not like, Rocket and Dominique together last year. KJ's missed 2 of the last 5 ball games. Guys, I don't care who you are in this league. Your starting quarterback misses 2 of 5 ball games. There's a pretty good chance the best you're going to go is 3-2 during that 5-game stretch. He's had to suspend a guy. He's had to move a wide receiver to cornerback and start him. I mean, none of these things happened last year. You lost Catalan, but that was in the 6th game. So I think when you look at the big picture, 5-5's not where people planned on being right now. I think a lot of people look at it and think, well, we ought to be 7-3. And when you look back, yeah, you can certainly say that. But a lot of those breaks Arkansas got last year, they've just not gotten this year.
Well, what's the old adage? Your best players need to be your best players. And your best players, you're talking about with those captains that missed the game, aren't there to be your best players. And, depth is an issue, I think, with a lot of teams, and Arkansas is one of them. There's only very few teams in college football that can lose a best player and never lose stride.
Well, I think that's the process of rebuilding from where we were. I mean, guys, I was writing some of this stuff down. Let's not forget where we were. I mean, in the 3 years prior to Sam Pittman, we went 8-28 overall, 1-23. We lost to San Jose State. We lost to North Texas. We lost to Western Kentucky. Vanderbilt came in here and beat us by 2 touchdowns. I mean, we lost to everybody. Since then, we're 17-16. Not the ultimate goal, not where you want to be. But, guys, that's a 9-game improvement right there. That's 3 wins a year on average. We're not done yet. I mean, you got at least 2 more, maybe 3. So you may get another win or 2 out of this year. So, I mean, depth's part of it. I thought the biggest thing Saturday, frankly, was that, in a lot of spots, LSU had better players, but better depth, perhaps. And, you answer that on the recruiting trail. I think the trajectory's still headed in the right direction. The arc still favors us, so to speak. But I know that's not much consolation. The thing that I will say, if you beat A&M and you beat Liberty, everybody's view's a lot different. But you didn't. And so there's a big difference between Liberty and LSU. Losing to Liberty by 2 and losing to LSU by 3 are different things. But the fact that it happened on back-to-back weekends, I understand that's what resonates with people.
Back to the phone lines. Rudy is in Alma. Go ahead, Rudy.
Hey, guys, just to reiterate, it's just it's hard not to be frustrated as a fan, listening to Chuck talk about how bad we were. I mean, we've made strides to get better, and you see the games, and you're like, all the shoulda, woulda, couldas, if so-and-so wasn't hurt or if quarterback play. I mean, you can see little coaching mistakes, and we're growing. I mean, Sam Pittman's a new coach. I mean, he's been in the league, but, we still are growing with Pittman as our head coach. I mean, I heard some guys talking Saturday. They're like, well, ideally we would have played Hornsby or Fortin last week and beat Liberty and allowed KJ time to have healed, and then we would have used him Saturday and beat LSU. I mean, it just gets frustrating when you see some of the things. It's like, well, you just got to keep persevering, and hitting the recruiting trail. I mean, who's going to play quarterback next year? Is KJ coming back? I
KJ
believe
will be
Borton
back.
is.
KJ will be back.
I mean, Singleton, I believe, is the guy coming. I'm sure people are going to be, like they say, the second string quarterback's always the most popular guy on the campus. So everyone next year will be rooting for him. I mean, they'll be. I don't know. Like I say, it's just frustrating, and I can't blame people for getting calling in. I'm sure you guys are going to hear it all day long. Yeah. People upset, but you just got to keep persevering and realizing how bad we were. And it just takes a minute to get back. And you just got to be, hold the line. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got, guys.
Thanks, Rudy.
Thanks for the call. You mentioned, the recruiting trail and KJ being back. Chuck, I mean, I don't think anyone questions whether KJ is coming back, but I think the answer that, from my seat at least, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong here, is Arkansas's got to find a backup quarterback that they feel like can run the same offense. And I think that's the area where a lot of people will be watching closely is what does Arkansas do with the depth at the quarterback position moving forward?
Well, you've got to identify who the next guys may be. Mm-hmm. You've got to figure out who the guys after KJ are going to be. I don't know that you might have an idea and say, okay, this guy's going to be the one, but you obviously are going to recruit more than one. You're going to sign more than one, and but now here's the thing about backup quarterbacks, guys. We kid ourselves sometimes into believing that the backup quarterback is just a whisker behind the starter. He's not. It's a big difference. But think back to when we played Alabama and their starter went out, when Young went out. There was a drop-off there. But Alabama's the only team, really, that we played this year that when their starting quarterback went down, they were still good enough to win. Most teams in this league, if they lose their starting quarterback and they're playing a good team the next week, they're going to get beat. Most of the teams in our league will get beat. So I don't worry, and I don't think it's possible, frankly, to have a second quarterback that's just as good as the first one. I don't think that's possible. But I do think you've got to identify who your next guys are going to be after KJ Jefferson. I do think that. May not be here right now, guys.
No, but you got to
be on the campus.
You got to find a quarterback. I agree, everything you're saying is right, but you got to find somebody that keeps your offense from being so one-dimensional, because this became an offense on Saturday that it really became
everybody's one-dimensional with their backup guys. Even Alabama in that game when they were one-dimensional. Everybody's one-dimensional with their backup quarterback. I mean, I hear you, and it would be nice to have the luxury of a guy who's willing to come sit. He's almost as good as the starter, and he's willing to play. He's just willing to stand on the sidelines during the games. He's willing to not play, but he's just almost as good as the other guy, so on a moment's notice, he'll be ready to go in. I just don't think that's realistic.
See, I think that's valid, but there's such a 9-day gap between KJ and Malik and Cade. Now, we saw when KJ came in for Felipe 2 years ago in Missouri, they weren't one-dimensional. KJ played great in that Missouri game. You had a chance to win. Defensively, you lost that game. We saw Tyler come in for Ryan in the Auburn game back in the day, and he looked great, and he came in. The gap that you're talking about is always existent in every single football team.
You're talking about two exceptions to the rule there, though, Ty.
But that's still a thing. I think what fans are frustrated with is the fact that the offense is.
I know what they're frustrated by.
It's been horrible without KJ or KJ that is not fully healthy, and you see other teams out there that don't have that wide as a gap that you seem to. Right now, we just brought up Alabama. Alabama still.
Well, you're not Alabama, so we're not Alabama.
I realize
that. So we're not Alabama.
Chuck, I realize that, but to watch Arkansas football with the backup relative to what they've been with KJ, you would think that the offensive line would step up in that case. When we talked about, they had their worst game of the season, they'll be better this week. They weren't this week. I think that's what's also irritating to fans.
Well, that's a fan's take. There's no doubt about that. But I think when you look at the teams in the SEC, I'm sorry, but when you look at the teams in the SEC, there is a wide gap, generally speaking. What team out there that you're playing, if their starting quarterback goes out, doesn't give you the idea we're going to win the game? We thought that when Young went out against Alabama. There's always the confidence boost because there is a gap. I hear what you're saying. I watched the same game you did, and I hear exactly what you're saying. And I do think that their inability to throw the football with Hornsby on the field that got them. And LSU knew that they didn't have to respect that part of Arkansas's offense. By the same token, when Fortin came in the ball game, you pin your ears back because he's not going anywhere. I mean, he's a willing runner, but he's not going to make anybody miss.
But shouldn't Malik be better than he is now with being his third year
I think
in
the
football program?
I think the way it was put earlier is the right approach. I mean, the die is cast on this season. I mean, yes, you could still get bowl eligible, but this season's not going to live up to most expectations or be above and beyond what you expected for this season. I think that's a fair take. What Chuck said earlier is I think what you really need to focus on is what's the next wave. We know that he's senior, he's gone. And if Hornsby's not your next guy, who's the next wave? Because if KJ has another year, and maybe it's Renfro, we don't know. He spent the year injured with a knee problem, with an ACL. Who is the next one?
Riker Acevo.
Who is the next one past K? And
he's not here. He's not here.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's not on campus yet, so that's either a portal or possibly a high school quarterback. But that's the question you've got to answer through recruiting.
No doubt. I mean, that's why I say. I mean, you've got to – and look, they do every day. I mean, it's not like, they come to the office one day and say, man, we better start thinking about who's going to succeed KJ. They think about that every day, and they'll have plenty of candidates. And some of them may be recruits. Some of them may be from the portal. You just don't know. I mean, you look at teams right now, I doubt if this time a year ago Oregon thought Bo Nix would be their quarterback.
That's true.
I mean, you just don't know.
Well, you got more options now with the portal than you had before.
No doubt.
So, hey, we're brought to you by Arvest Bank this morning. They've been around since 1961. They're committed to putting the needs of its customers first, all while offering a wide range of financial services, whether it's for your personal accounts or your business accounts, checking accounts to loans, mortgages and mortgage services, treasury management for your business, credit cards from Arvest for home or for work. They provide loans, deposits, all of it that you need to make it really seamless and easy for you. That's why a customer-first philosophy is so important to everyone at Arvest Bank. Hey, since 1961, Arvest Bank has been committed to putting the needs of its customers first. Arvest Bank, ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Find them online at arvest.com.
Let's talk to Jimmy in Conway. Good morning, Jimmy.
Top of the morning, fellas. Hey, there's good morning. Two ways to look at Hornsby. In my opinion, he's either not good enough or he's not being developed enough to his strengths. They're not running what they could. But either way, I mean, Liberty came in with their third-string quarterback and beat us.
That's a little bit different situation there. This is a guy that has been the starter. He was a guy that's been in their program for 4 years. He started 5 games before he came to Fayetteville. I mean, a little bit different situation there.
Stetson Bennett was a backup.
Not
as talented as the guy that left.
Well, come on now. Come on. You're not Georgia. I mean, you're not Georgia. I mean, stop it. Stop it! Let's not sit here and act like a team that was over for 3 years is suddenly on the level of Georgia after a 9-win season. We're not.
Got to have some developing back there. It's just I hate to see it going down like that. It's tough. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Jimmy. So Malachi Singleton is the young man from North Cobb that's coming in from Georgia. But the other thing you need to think about when it comes to these remaining 2 games. And I don't know if there's any decommits on the horizon because if they keep losing, who's to say that they won't lose out on a young? Who's to say that a young man decides, you know what, I don't like where the trajectory of this program is going. I'm jumping ship. And they've got a lot of guys that are committed right now that hopefully will sign on the dotted line when the early signing period comes up. But if you lose 4 straight games to end the season and you aren't bowl eligible, that's a big deal. For recruits out there.
If that happens, it'll not be good. You're right.
I know that, but that is something we need to factor. We're talking about recruits and building
you're
back
painting
the
a picture of a mass exodus in the commitments, and I don't think there's much of an example when if your coaching staff stays the same that you may lose 1 or 2, but the idea that you're going to lose a third of your class, I don't think that's the reality.
But all it takes is one or two. Arkansas has the smallest room for error relative to other teams. You can't miss on portal kids.
They've not lost those 4 games you're talking about yet.
Yeah,
they've not lost those games.
They've lost 2 of the 4. But
but let's not jump to the conclusion. Let's not go from we've lost 2 in a row. Oh my God, we're going to lose 4 games in a row. We're going to lose all our recruits. I mean, you don't determine the trajectory of your program inside a 1 or 2 week period.
What I'm saying is Arkansas, compared to other teams you compete against, like, say, LSU, has
But it's always been that way, Ty.
I know that, but when it comes to the transfer portal, talking to NIL, you can't miss on portal kids. You can't have 1 or 2 kids dip out because it's that big. You don't have the luxury. You're talking about the luxury of Georgia, the luxury of LSU, the luxury of Alabama. Arkansas doesn't have that, so it's so important.
We know that. It's always been that way.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot end your season this bad. That's what I'm saying. You have to end it with at least 1 win, get to a bowl game, and do that. And I don't think anyone's 100% confident that they're going to go to a bowl game. When you guys asked 2 weeks ago, do I think that they're 100% going to a bowl game? I said I didn't know, and y'all came at me pretty hard. Now we're 2 games away.
I don't remember that. But
now we're 2 games away from that actually becoming a reality, and gut check time, which is here right now, that's a huge issue for this football team.
2 teams left that are headed in opposite directions. Ole Miss clearly headed in the wrong direction the last couple of weeks. Missouri, despite the outcomes, that they appear to be playing better football at this point.
It's the same thing going into this week as it was last week. Last week you said we got 3 games left. We could win them all. We could lose them all. This week you got 2 games left. You could win them both. You could lose them both. And they may very well be close games just like the one you played Saturday. I suspect they will be if you want to get right down to it.
Well, and I think because it's LSU and you're so used to playing them, we lose sight a little bit in the calculus on this week. You did lose to the number 7 team in the college football playoff standings.
And who, as Chuck said earlier, will represent the SEC West,
Right.
who, with that win, with Ole Miss's loss, is
not chop liver
in the SEC championship.
It's a much different deal than
Atlanta.
the Liberty loss.
I really think our overall view this year has been defined by the Texas A&M game and the Liberty game. I think for if you want to go, if you want to look for the half-empty part, you certainly point to those 2 games.
Well, and just one of them right now would get you where you want to be as far as postseason.
I just think that, and I said this on Hog Reaction, you've been one good football team this year, Cincinnati. Where's the other good win that you have on your schedule that you said that is a good football team? You've got one. It's the opening game of your season.
Well, at the time, South Carolina appeared like one, but they haven't held up. You're right.
Well, part of it's winning, as we've talked about this before. I mean, you got to beat those teams. You think those games aren't important, we'll lose one of them. You think the Liberty game's not important, we'll lose it.
Yep.
You find out real fast how important it is.
But, again, we wouldn't be listening to the frustrated callers. We wouldn't be hearing from people that are angry. We wouldn't be getting the text we're getting if it didn't matter. And that's nothing new. It's
no
always
doubt
mattered.
about it.
And that's what we're hearing is reaction because people are upset because it matters.
Morning therapy with Tommy, Ty, and Chuck.
Your problem, and you can call it empathy or whatever, but you get to a point, that where apathy sets in. I don't think we're anywhere near apathy based on the calls that we got.
I remember the days of apathy, and this is not where we want it to be, but it's a lot better.
Yeah. Hey, don't just survive the holidays, and sometimes that's a struggle, but thrive with Burton Pools and Spas and treat yourself this holiday season to a new hot tub. Soak away the stress and the soreness that comes along with a busy time of the calendar year. Hey, and with over 8,000 spas sold, no one else can match the sales and the service that you're going to get at Burton Pools and Spas. Right now, they have over 80 hot tubs in stock, starting at $34.99, and payments as low as $47 a month. Hey, when it comes to a new spa, Hot Springs is the best, and the only place to buy one is at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
Let's hear what Coach Pittman had to say about the rushing attack coming up when we come back. Hour 2 is next.
Don't just survive the holidays, thrive. Treat yourself to a new hot tub to soak away the stress and soreness that comes with the busiest time of the year. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. Burton's has over 80 hot tubs in stock, starting at $34.99, and payments as low as $47 a month with approved credit. Visit Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith and start hot tubbing right away. Visit burtonpools.com for all the details.
No matter which road you take, The Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience at a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on, Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Late breaking news! Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll have our housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry! A deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the cloud cover today. It looks like our temperatures will be in the mid-40s north and then falling through the lower 40s further south. We're looking at clouds and occasional rain, maybe a little snow across the north tonight. Overnight lows in the low 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
There's only one Razorback. Isn't it the greatest mascot of all time?
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Daniels takes the snap, and that's it. Sam Pittman makes his way to midfield. Brian Kelly coming across the field for LSU. Man, the Hogs fought today. It was quite a football game, but LSU comes away with a 13-10 victory.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Hot Take Monday. You've struggled running the football the last 2 games with an injured K.J. Jefferson and 2 backup quarterbacks in Malik Hornsby and Cade Ford. Here what Coach had to say coming up on why he thinks that's the case.
Hot Take Mondays are always brought to you by Wheels RV. They're 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They not only have a great selection, they got a great service department as well. So maybe you've went out this weekend to go deer hunting, or you've went camping and you found out something's just not working right, or maybe you're leaking air a little bit. You got too much cold, drafty air getting in. Great service department, or if you're like me, you probably back into a tree or something. You need body and collision work. They do all of that in one spot. It's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Here's Coach after the game.
Well, we're not blocking them. We're not breaking any tackles. I don't think we broke a tackle into the fourth quarter. So look at their back. He carried us 8, 10, and 12 yards at times, made guys miss in the hole. We had to block better, and we had to make guys miss, and we're not doing that at any position.
How do you resolve that? How do you change that?
The making your backs miss tackles? I mean, Rocket's done it quite a bit this year. I don't know what the change has been, Chuck, to get to this point, but, I mean, Coach is speaking the truth there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, how do you change it? I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, you know, you got to – I mean, simple answers, you run harder, but I don't think there's a simple answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think having multiple threats – I mean, and Hornsby is a threat to run the football. I mean, we know that, but – the power running that KJ provides is a 1-2 punch. I think that's part of it. You wear down an opponent to where they do miss tackles, to where you're doing what Coach was describing the other way and dragging guys 6, 8, 9, 10 yards at times. You do that. I think you do that because you got a 1-2 punch when you got KJ in there.
Well, I also think, too, I mean, and it's kind of what we talked about in the last half hour. I mean, when you're not a threat to throw, you're going to be outnumbered up there. Mm-hmm. And that happened a lot on Saturday, and that's why Coach Pittman said if they don't respect your ability to throw, you got problems. And they didn't respect Arkansas's ability to throw, and Arkansas had problems. And I know there's the temptation, and I understand when you say 2 weeks in a row. I get that. But they are very, very different games. Arkansas, if they had played the way they played Saturday against Liberty, they'd have won that game. I don't have any doubt at all about saying that. So I do understand the thought of lumping 2 games together, but I do think they were very, very different games. I think Arkansas played a whole lot better Saturday than they did against Liberty.
Tim says if he was in charge of blocking, that Harold Perkins wouldn't have gotten all those sacks and forced fumbles. in that game.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Tim, thanks for providing some funniness this morning. But I do find it frustrating. So Tykees got, again, first start, SEC game, one of the best young players, not just in the conference, but in the country. How do you not adjust during the course of that game, or you bring Trey over, or you tell Raheem, or you tell AJ, or you tell Rashad, you got to help him out? Because
you just tell him.
He was in one-on-one situations the majority of that game, and
was he really? I
mean, did y'all watch him individually? Most of the times he was getting those sacks. It was just
he was a spy. He was a spy.
That was on Malik. But when Cade came in, they put him in Drew Sanders, that jack type role, and he just blitzed the quarterback. That was the difference. I mean, but he didn't get any help, right? I mean, if you're a right tackle and you're starting your first game, let's
not act like he hadn't played before. I mean, I understand the starting role, but let's not act like Tykees Crawford had never been on the field before.
But he was getting
guys. You're playing that's what makes the guy great. That's why he's going to be an All-American. That's why he's going to play in the NFL. I mean, he's a great player. People act like, well, if you just make an adjustment and tell a guy to go do something, that'll take care of all that. But doesn't work that way. I mean, he's a great player. He can outrun anybody on the field. He was the best player on the field Saturday. He's been the best player on the field in a lot of LSU's games in the second half of the season.
But he hasn't had the same impact as he did on Saturday.
Well, he had 4 sacks Saturday. I think you'd probably be hard-pressed to tell Alabama and some of those other teams he was not an impact player. He's been an impact player in lots of games this year. You may not have seen it, but he's been playing great. I can remember watching him in the Ole Miss game when they dismantled Ole Miss thinking, who's that guy? And he's gotten better every game. The guy I think is the best defensive player in the conference potentially.
So you just take it? If he's just that good of a player, there's no adjustment.
They weren't taking it, Ty. He beat him.
But it's acting like, we can't do anything. That's basically what we're saying this morning. He's just a great player.
I think what Chuck's saying is he was better than us.
He was the best player on the field.
What?
You're acting like if you just make a simple adjustment, none of that would have happened. That's what makes him a great player.
I go, what Eric Musselman does in basketball.
Well, what would you have done then, Ty? How would you have combated it?
I would have done. I'm not the one getting paid all that money.
Okay, but you're sure the one saying they should have done it. I'm just saying if you're going to say they should have done it, I'm just asking you what they should have done.
Double team him. If a perfect
and
example.
Then leave who else open.
Okay.
He's the one being
We're not going anywhere here.
We're
not accomplishing anything here. Yeah. Okay. I share your.
Who single-handedly won that game for LSU on Saturday?
He didn't single-handedly win it, but he had a great game.
Well, I mean, he was all. What does Muss do when a guy is killing them on offense? He double teams him and he says, "The shrimp over in the corner, you beat us, hit a 3."
Okay, well, let's make Muss the football coach. Let's make Muss the football coach.
Guys, that's like double teaming is not like this philosophy that you have to have this insane amount of football knowledge to do.
How do you know they didn't try to do that, Ty?
Go watch the plays that he had sacks. It's one-on-one. He's just killing Ty Keast in that game.
All right. I run up the white flag. What
do you have to say?
I don't think Arkansas's guys wanted to get the flu. I think they wanted to stay away from him because they didn't want to get the flu.
He had the flu. Kelly said he had the flu after the game. He still did that to you. I get he's a great player, but that's the most. He had 3.5 sacks coming in.
He had a clear impact on the game. There's no question. So do you bring another back on? You
do something. You do the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Here.
So when you're not a threat to throw the football,
which they weren't until Cade came in.
So double team. I mean. Do you need to open up more blocking, or do you just basically reverse spy? Now we're just going to spy on this defensive guy.
I can't get into the complexities of it. What I know is the adjustment that they tried to make didn't work.
Now Arkansas was trying to be a threat to throw once they changed quarterbacks, but
and you still couldn't block him. When you were a threat to throw, and Cade actually looked better, you still couldn't block him.
I don't know if that's bringing your running back in, whether it's Sanders or AJ or some of those other guys, and just simply, hey, your job is to protect the quarterback.
He's a great player, but you can't say, oh, he's a great player, but we're going to give up 4 sacks to him. That's not acceptable. It's just not.
Okay.
I mean, 4 sacks. What are we doing? This is supposed to be the Joe Moore Award offensive line, and you gave up 4 sacks to one guy?
I think you have to worry about that trophy right now. Hey, APAC Arcola has immediate job openings in Boone, Marion, and Baxter County. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, and you live in north central Arkansas, they're looking for people to join their team right now. Go to jobs.crh.com. A lot of those same openings are available in northwest Arkansas as well. Top pay, sign-on bonus, great benefits. Again, you can apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are equal opportunity employers.
Let's talk some SEC football when we come back.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to ashley.air.com to schedule your tune-up. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
This is Chuck Barrett for Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. For most people, buying a home is the largest investment they will ever make. And I can tell you from experience, you want a real estate professional handling your transaction. And there's nobody better than Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company at getting you from contract to closing. I've used them, and I can say that firsthand. They've got offices in Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith. Or you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit rileyfarmdental.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Not gonna lie, I thought TCU was going down this weekend in Austin. That's what I get for believing in the Longhorns. They survive in Austin. They go to Waco this weekend, so that's could be another place where they'd fall. But I want to ask this morning, who are the best 4 teams that you've seen thus far in college football? Who are your college football playoff teams after, was it week 10 or week 11?
Yep.
I guess week 11 in the college football season. Who are you okay with putting in there right now?
Well, Georgia, I think, is going to be in all of our answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Tennessee's not going to be in that top 4. And you got to consider Ohio State and Michigan amongst them. But I don't know how you also leave Tennessee out. I mean, does anyone here on this show believe that if Tennessee and TCU teed it up Saturday, who thinks TCU's winning that game? You, Ty? You, Chuck?
I don't.
I think Tennessee's still amongst the best 4 in the country based on what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know what the rankings are going to look like. I think Georgia and Tennessee are in the top 2. I do think you have to put TCU in there right now based on their record. Based on the fact they're unbeaten. I think you got to put them in there. And I'm not sure who's better between Michigan and Ohio State, but I'm sure the winner of that one will end up being in the top 4 too.
And I'm certain that these coaches that will be in the top 4, whoever that will be, we got an idea right now. They're glad the playoff hasn't expanded at this point because Alabama at like a 7 seed or a 8 seed or somewhere in there would wreck some plans. What do you like to say? They have a way of spoiling your plans? If anyone believes they're outside the top 5 or 6, truly, I mean, I know they've lost the pair of games, but that'd be another team that they're not going to make the playoff, and their record says they shouldn't. But man, they could be one that would be there in the championship, maybe even win the whole thing, Chuck,
now,
given the chance.
I will say this to you, and I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I believe this today. LSU's better than Alabama right now. LSU is better than Alabama. I don't know who's number 2 in the league behind Georgia, but I don't think it's Alabama anymore. Alabama beat Ole Miss Saturday. That's a great win. LSU dismantled Ole Miss. I mean, LSU just dismantled Ole Miss. And LSU beat Alabama. And right now, and a lot of it's because of penalties. I don't think it's I think a lot of the little things Alabama's done in the past, they're not doing this year. They're still a great team. But if you're picking the best teams out of, if you're going to say, all right, we're going to put 3 of the best teams in the SEC into the Final 4, I'd put LSU in over Alabama right now.
But do you believe, leaving the stadium Saturday, what we saw collectively, guys, on Saturday, you saw one of the best teams in the country. Did you leave with that opinion?
Georgia's going to boat race in the SEC championship.
I don't believe Georgia's going to boat race him. I think Georgia's better, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. LSU's got a lot of speed on defense, guys. We play with great effort on Saturday. I mean, you can get mad. You can lump 2 weeks together if you want. You can talk about Texas A&M. You can say whatever you want. But we played with great effort Saturday against a good team, a team that's going to Atlanta, a team that has beaten Alabama, a team that has dismantled Ole Miss. How in the world they lost to Florida State on opening Saturday or the opening weekend, I have no idea. Brian Kelly didn't have the guts to go for it or go for 2 against Florida State, and then he went for 2 against Alabama, and we saw what happened. But, you talk about coaches growing into their jobs. I think Brian Kelly's gotten better as the season's worn on. I think he's grown into that job. He seemed like a fish out of water. But he got on the football field, which is their sanctuary, and they got away from all that noise, and I think we're figuring out he's a pretty good coach. I was really impressed with LSU's speed on defense. I think that's what gives them a chance against Georgia. Georgia's better overall, but I think that team speed gives them a shot.
Yeah, he turned to his sideline in that Bama game. He said, "Let's go for 2, y'all." And that's that was the
my family thinks we should go for 2.
Yeah. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
Let's talk about something positive just for a sec. Basketball team looked really good on Friday night. It was fun to watch. I was glad I was in attendance for that. And Chuck, it was a good crowd, man. What was it, probably 14,000, 15,000 in attendance?
I don't know what the actual turnstile scanning number was. I know they listed it at 19.2. Obviously, there wasn't that many people there. I'm going to say this weekend, and this was one of my takeaways from the weekend was, man, I thought our fans responded. Friday night and Saturday too. When I drove up to the stadium, and I went a little bit later because I knew the traffic wasn't going to be great. I didn't get there till probably 9:15, which is really late for me. I mean, an hour and 45 minutes before kickoff is late for me. But I knew that the traffic wouldn't be bad. And when I pulled in, I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be bad. We're not going to have anybody here. And I just walked right in, drove right up. It was simple. But, man, right around 11 o'clock, everybody just seemed to flood into the stadium. And I thought it was a great crowd. I thought they were engaged. They stayed till the end. There was traffic after the game. And there have been games this year, even when we won, where by the time I leave, the traffic's died down. I left an hour or so after the game. There was still traffic. So people came. They showed up. They stayed late. They played the plays with the team. And I just thought both Friday night and Saturday they were really, really good crowds. And it was not a real pleasant day outside.
No, it wasn't easy. No. It wasn't easy.
You were telling us in hour 1 that Dylan brought 2 buddies that had their first experience with the Razorback game, and their only complaint was the Wi-Fi speed.
Well, that's a 12-year-old's complaint,
well,
though.
You
got to play Minecraft every now and then during the game. But so I mean, little different perspective. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't an easy day, and there were a lot of people as we walked back through the gardens to get to our car. We were parked down. Closer to MLK and they're at Lot 56, and there were a lot of people setting back up, like you said, Chuck, and staying after the game and watching TV. Now, they probably had a little antifreeze in them by then, but it was a good crowd.
Antifreeze.
It was a very and listen, you were thankful to be sitting in the sun. Probably the worst seats in the house, honestly, were in the south end zone and those club seats or whatever's on that second level that never gets any sun. Those are great in September, but a day like Saturday, you didn't want the shade. You wanted you want a little exposure.
I can just tell you in our booth in the morning up until noon, the sun was shining into the booth, and I was glad it was. And as the day went on, even though the temperature came up a little bit in the shade there, we had the windows open too. So it was it got chilly as the day went on.
So let's talk about this basketball game a little bit. What'd you guys think, Chuck? Another game without Nick Smith. We don't know when he's going to be back. You hope to see him certainly by Maui, but Ricky Council's kind of pulled the slack a little bit in these last couple of games.
The thing that I'm impressed with is how well they're playing defense as a unit, so early in the season. And I know the competition's going to get a little bit better out in Maui. I don't know about the Louisville game, but the ones after that certainly will.
Again.
Yeah,
did they really?
Louisville's 0-2. Yeah, Wright State beat them Saturday, and they're 0-2 right now. So, but I think defensively, this has the potential to be a really, really good team. And This is not going to be a high-scoring team, I don't think. It's not going to be, we're going to see some high-flying plays, but it's not going to be a great three-point shooting team. I don't think it's going to be a team that scores 90 points or 100 points. I think a lot of their offense is going to come from their defense. But I really think teams are going to have a hard time scoring against the Razorbacks this year.
Fordham zoned them a little bit. That's the first time in a while we've seen them do that. And Arkansas, again, like you said.
Only a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Only a very little bit.
Anthony and some guys took some threes, but they're just not, as you just said, going to be a great three-point shooting team. But what makes them so difficult to play is in the game with 30 turnovers if you're the Rams. And a lot of those turnovers led to easy baskets. You had one of the dunks of the season where Ricky Council caught it from Devo Davis and just threw it down. He also hit a corner three. I said all offseason I think he's going to be my favorite player just because he plays both ways. You got a lot of guys that play both ways on this basketball team. You're not going to play if you don't, Tom. It's what you always say.
You those 30 turnovers turned into 30 points. That's 30 of 74. I mean, I don't know what the math is on that. It's about 40% or whatever of your points. You get 30 off turnovers. I don't know many teams are going to beat you, Chuck.
Well, you look at the turnovers forced, the points off turnovers, and then the points in the paint. I think they were plus 20 on points in the paint.
That's 34, according to this. Arkansas had 54, and Fordham had 20.
Oh, all right. So, that's off the dribble drive. I mean, that's attacking the paint, and that's attacking the rim, and that's the kind of team I think we're going to see.
And the transition points off those turnovers. I imagine I didn't get to see the game, but most of those turnovers probably turned into dunks and layups.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's why I say I don't think this is going to be a great three-point shooting team, but I do think they're going to get a lot of baskets off of the defensive end, turnovers, transition, fast break points, and I think there's going to be a lot of that.
Can they turn into a better three-point shooting team? I mean, is this – and their free throws have not been great either. They've shot in the upper 60s. Can they be better in those two areas?
When Nick comes back.
And I think they're going to have to be. Not just Nick, but I think they're going to have to be because a big part of what they do is get to the free throw line. I mean, FTAs is a big part of what they do. And so, if that's a big part of what you do, you better make them. Now – you're going to have the ball in certain people's hands. You were talking about Council. Council shot 85% from the line last year at Wichita State. He's going to be money in the bank at the line down the stretch. So I think we'll figure out, and I don't think it's going to take very long, quite honestly. We're going to figure out who's going to have the ball in those moments when they know they're headed to the free throw line, or at least who they're going to try to get the ball to. So I think they can be adequate in terms of their free throw shooting. I don't think they're three-point shooting, so much of that's getting your feet set within the framework of your offense, who you're playing on defense. I don't know that they're going to be a great three-point shooting team at any point this year, but I think they can offset that with points off turnovers and points in the paint.
And to reiterate the point that you're making here, 74 points in the game, 54 of them came in the paint.
Yeah.
So, and 11 of those were fast break points, but still –
and it's not like you're dropping it down to some 7-footer, who's just scoring at will inside on 5-footers. I mean, that's from attacking the rim. That's from everybody attacking the rim, running the floor, transition, points off turnovers. All that stuff factors into points in the paint.
They're fun to watch on the break. It's hard to look away because if you look down at your phone 1 second, you're probably going to miss a highlight reel play. Let's talk to JW in London. Go ahead, JW.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I love Razorback hoops, but it's still football season to me. And I've got a quick take, if you'll indulge me.
Bring it on.
I tell you what, there's a big elephant in the room that nobody seems to be talking about, but a lot of us fans recognize it. We're not playing Pop Warner football. We're playing in the SEC West. And that big elephant may very well be the Crimson Tide. So for sure, it's in Birmingham in the nature of the SEC home office. What I'm curious about coming Saturday, because I watched it 2 weeks in a row of SEC making non-calls or calls that shouldn't have been made that determine the outcome of the game, in my estimation. It changed the flow of the game, let's put it that way. So what I want to know is that when we tee it up against Ole Miss, who does the SEC home office want to win that game. I'm hoping they don't give it. I'm hoping they don't care, because we're going to bring. We played with great intensity against two very good teams. We played as good as you can expect us to play. After a while, it gets frustrating as a fan, because I want them people on the field to determine the outcome of the game, not the SEC home office. And like I said, it is making me crazy. The SEC West is, in my estimation, the pinnacle of college football. But you need to let the boys on the field determine that pinnacle. Basketball is different. You can't control basketball like you can control football. But your officiating and the way it's done at certain times, and I've watched it at all different levels of football, can be determined by the officiating staff and the people who are making those final determinations.
I'll let you hit that first.
Well, I mean, I would assume most are coming back to the play that was ruled a first down that went to replay. I think he was short of the line to gain, but I don't think there was a replay angle that could prove that. That you could look and say, all right here's where you can show forward progress did not go beyond this spot. I think it would be the greatest conspiracy that has been kept secret in the history of the world of what fans say and what JW's opinion was actually true. I mean, what? Can you imagine all the people you got to let in on this? A different referee crew every week in multiple games to keep this grand strategy alive of keeping these 2 or 3 or 4 teams at the heap of the top of the heap. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think there's this grand conspiracy to keep the Arkansas program down and everyone else up in this.
You didn't lose against Liberty and LSU because of the officiating. If you remember, you also stopped LSU on that drive, got the ball back. Harold Perkins forced that fumble, and the game was over.
Yeah, but you didn't have any timeouts. You didn't have any timeouts left. The spot was the only call that I really had an issue with, and I don't think you have to have a perfect angle. I mean, guys, you got 5 people up there in the booth, in that replay booth at the stadium. You got people everywhere. I mean, just watch the replay on TV. You don't have to have the perfect angle on that one.
I agree.
I think not having the perfect angle becomes an excuse for just a basic eye test sometimes, not always. But that was the only call that I had an issue with. I always have an issue with. I think they need to expedite replay. But, my God, they've got, again, 5 people upstairs. You got umpteen people in Alabama, and it takes, 5 minutes to come up with a call that everybody that was watching the game 3 beers in is able to tell what happened.
Well, there were a couple of plays, and there were people, where I was sitting there in the stadium bemoaning, or around on the one pass that looked clearly like a forward pass that was ruled a fumble. Replay fixed it. That's what the officials are trained to do, is to let that play itself out.
That's exactly right.
And they quickly got through that one. The second one looked like a forward pass, but on the first blush at replay, it was clearly knocked from Fortin's hand forward, and that's why it looked like a forward pass, but it was clearly a fumble. And both of those replays did not take long, Chuck, to get to the conclusion.
Right. Well, I mean, you had in that portion of the game, you had replay calls that came into play, and I'm speaking generally. I'm not so much talking about that specific sequence. I understand why it took longer on the spot. What I can't understand is after taking that long for them to say, yeah, that was the correct spot. That's the part that I didn't get. But big picture, that's really the only one that I looked at the end of the day and thought, man, because you did have to spend timeouts, and it was much more desperation when you got the ball, So I just but that's not why Arkansas lost the ball game. No. Hey, I hope everybody's heater's working well. That is one thing that I will say this morning. And if it's not, or if you've got questions, or if you just want to make sure everything's working the way it should, I would highly recommend Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, and I would highly recommend their Pascal protection plan, because that's going to make certain everything's in working order, not just now, but when we get to the spring, when we get to the summer, and when we start doing this again next year. As we all know, this process never really stops. Pascal's Arkansas owned. They're Arkansas operated. Charlie Boyce is the owner. It doesn't seem possible that, the guy that we watched pitch against Wichita State's, grown man. He's a third-generation operator of HVAC, and I mean, he really knows his business. And they've got locations. They've been in Northwest Arkansas for over 50 years. They're expanding into the River Valley, to Hot Springs, Searcy, Cabot, Newport. They're in Southwest Missouri now. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
One thing I will say about that I do like being in the stadium that you don't get at home is when they do go to replay. They do put up on the big screen like all of the different angles.
I like
you kind of
that.
showing them.
I like that.
And what is there? Probably 12 different angles they're looking at. I guess it may vary from week to week, but I like the idea, and I think that's why it does take time on particular parts of the field. There's so many different angles you can choose from. But I do like being able to see that when I'm in the stadium.
About 3 years ago, it was a really interesting day. They brought all the SEC play-by-play guys and color guys down there to Birmingham, and we went into that room, and we went through calls just like they go through, and we watched the process and all that. And it's not as simple as it looks. And I do understand how, man, if you get caught up in certain angles, I mean, all of a sudden 5 minutes can slip away.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys want to do their job right. They want to do their job right. But sometimes the desire to do your job exactly right, I think, in my opinion, leads to it taking a little bit longer than it should. But it is a very interesting process that they go through to get to that call, and I know they do it as quickly as they can, but it does seem like they get bogged down sometimes.
Well, and what we don't see sometimes, that's why I like that view in the stadium when they put that up. You don't realize sometimes how long it takes to get that angle or that video to the officials from the truck. It's not just the referee sitting there with his thumb up his rear. Sometimes it's the replay guy in the truck who has to provide the feed, and if that's not going right, what are you supposed to do?
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
We think it's all on the guy in the stripes. Particularly in basketball this happens because they're, who knows where sometimes. It's not as easy. And in basketball, you're a lot more likely to have a student-run technical setup than you are in football.
The one thing that I think has to be avoided is that replay can't be a crutch. It can't be a crutch. It's got to be an aid. It's got to help you get the close ones right. I think sometimes, and I sit right by the replay people in basketball, I know for a fact, I can point it out when they do lean on replay too much and they're too anxious to get over there. I can name you 4 or 5 refs in the SEC right now that if they're reffing the game, there's going to be a lot of replays, and there are other guys that call the game, and so I do think there's a little bit of a dependency on that sometimes, and I do think in basketball maybe it comes into play more than football.
Well, to me, I'd lean on it more at the end of the game and less on it.
I agree with
for
that.
the other 35 or 37 minutes. When you get to the end of the game,
absolutely agree with that.
And the game is in the balance, take all the time you need to get it right in the last 3, 4, 5 minutes of the game.
But when it's 26-22. Let's not spend 5 minutes over there.
Well, was the clock supposed to be at 17:42 or 17:44?
Hey,
in the first
half? Did you notice, Tommy? I don't know if you noticed. I didn't. Rick Schaefer pointed it out to me. That first replay that they went back and they ruled it an incomplete pass, they let the clock run. Baskerville picked up the ball and he ran down the field. The clock was running during all that, and during that long replay review, for whatever reason, they never paid attention to the clock because they never put that time back up on the board. Now, as it turned out, it didn't matter. But that was about 20, 25 seconds there. And didn't matter at the end of the game as it turned out. But I did notice that, and with all the time that they spend making sure they've got the time right, on that one, it seemed like it got overlooked.
Well, and I promise you somebody will be downgraded for that.
You're right.
There'll be some accountability for that.
You're right. You're right.
That won't go unnoticed in the grading process.
You are exactly right. That's exactly true.
Now's a great time of the year to plan another trip to get away for a weekend or maybe a birthday or an anniversary's coming up. If you're looking for something different and unique, let me recommend Gaston's White River Resort. We talk to you about Gaston's every day, but now's a great time to visit because if you've never been before, you can try it with a 40% discount during the winter months at Gaston's. Beginning in December and through the winter months, they've got special discounts for winter rates, and now's the time to start booking those great weekends. The first few weekends, still enjoy the great restaurant, Valentine's Day, New Year's. It's all coming up. It's Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. A first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call
and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side-splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Following the loss to LSU, Coach Pittman explained why KJ did not go this weekend.
Felt better early in the week. Threw a few balls on Monday, Tuesday, none. Wednesday felt better. I just asked him to have a plan because he was in no man's land. You know, he's like out in the desert, nowhere to go. You know, he didn't hurt. It was sore. And the bottom line is Thursday afternoon, that was it. He hadn't practiced in 2 weeks much. And we decided the best thing for him would be to rest. Hopefully he'll be ready by Monday. He'll be ready for Ole Miss.
That's kind of in a nutshell why KJ didn't play this weekend.
You watched pregame, and Chuck, I know you were tuned into that just like everybody else in the stadium. He stood there with his arms crossed watching Hornsby and Fortin and the drills going on. He really never moved much off that spot till the drill changed, and you knew at that point he wasn't going to be the guy despite what John George announced as the starters prior to the game.
Yeah, well, it was, it was a deal where – you could tell Quinn can always look at how they're taped up and tell whether or not they're going to play. He looked at KJ's feet and he said he's not going to play. And so, sometimes you got to play the long game. And I kind of think that's what they're doing right here. We got to get to 6 wins. That's important. You got to get to a bowl game. It is important for the life of your program to get to a bowl game. And I suspect in the final analysis their thinking was that, if KJ doesn't play this week, next week he'll be as healthy as he can possibly be this time of year. If he does play this week, let's say we don't win, physically, win or lose, you're right back in the same spot on Monday morning. You're right back in the very same position you were the week before. He can't throw, he's not going to practice much, spend the whole week wondering whether or not he can play. The weather was the great equalizer in my mind on Saturday, and I think that's part of the reason it was such a close game at the end of the day. But, I do think the long game here was, he's going to play the University down the road from where he grew up. Ole Miss is a special game to him. Let's get him as healthy as we can get him. Let's beat Ole Miss. Let's get to 6. Roll the dice at Missouri and hope he's good enough to, hope he's well enough to play. But, I understand the strategy. It's not much consolation when you lose, but I do think sometimes you've got to look at the big picture and play the long game.
It's going to be cold again on Saturday night when Ole Miss comes into town. They are 3.5-point favorites right now on the
Just remember who begged for a night game. Just remember that.
I was happy about it. I don't care how cold it is. And, hey.
It'd be cold when you're doing that post-game show,
you got to stay the whole game. Yeah. You got to stay the whole game now.
And do the post-game show.
And you got to tailgate. You got to tailgate. You've been wanting to tailgate. So you got to tailgate.
You asked for it.
Listen, I have to tailgate. I'll fall on that sword. I'll jump on that grenade. Man, I have to tailgate this Saturday. What
I'm saying is this is what you wanted, so you got to stay out there all day, no matter how cold it is.
Yeah. That's what the Fireball's for, Chuck.
Okay,
well, you got a post-game show to do.
Well, I'm going to be drunk on the post-game then.
Well,
I ain't going to be sober.
Well,
whatever. I'm just being honest. All right, some other basketball news. Lane Blocker signed his national letter of intent this weekend. He is officially an Arkansas Razorback 5-star kid playing at Sunrise Christian right now. Saw also Nick put a picture out of him in the brace. It's the first time I've seen him in a brace on his right knee. That he actually
sounds like progress to me, though. The fact that you're seeing a glimpse of what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like progress. So
hope it's something. I don't. Okay, we haven't got. There's no timetable yet. Maybe we'll hear something from Coach. I think he has his press conference today, if I remember that right. We'll hear something on Wednesday when they play South Dakota State. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we're stacked up with calls. Got to make these quick. Charlie and Camden, you're up first, man. Go ahead.
Rapid fire.
All right, can you guys actually hear me?
Yep.
Because I'm in a okay. Well, let me be real quick, guys. I am really proud of the defensive effort from our team the other day. What a game play by Barry, first of all, and I thought that was the best tackling that they have done all year long up to this point. Chuck, I agree. The weather did play a part in some of it. But I'll tell you what, this defense has gotten a little more healthy, and if you think about it, since the second half of Liberty last week, I mean, they've been playing really good ball, and I'm really proud of the way they played, man. I mean, I can't say enough about them. I don't think anybody thought what would have happened when Cade got in there and did what he did. But I'm going to tell you this, guys. I think we win the game if we make some sort of adjustment to either chip 40 more often or do something. I just don't like allowing one guy to beat you. And to me, you say, well, we got to block him. They're lining him up over your backup right tackle every play.
I think we're starting to lose Charlie there.
Charlie, I mean, that's what I said. And we got another texter saying the same thing. At that point in the game, you've got to do, and maybe they did, maybe we just didn't see it. I went back and watched the game. It felt like that Perkins was still in one-on-one situations when he sacked Cade or forced the fumble. That's where I came down on this.
Eddie's in Ozark. Eddie, you are on the Morning Rush.
The gentleman that called earlier, upset about the officiating. I really think that happens in whether you're watching Arizona and Washington State at 10:30 at night. That happens in every conference, so that's frustrating across the board. I think a lot of Hawk fans, don't watch maybe a lot of other games and they just hone in on the Hogs. And when one of those plays happens and the review doesn't go their way, so it's frustrating on every level. Pro, college, it happens. It's very frustrating. It's frustrating that every camera angle is not the same. You would think in this day and age, every stadium would have the same camera angles. So that's a frustrating thing. And then the second point, real quick, talking about the officiating, we're kind of missing the point on we should have taken that field goal early. Again, I think that's happening in all levels too, where if it's analytics or whatever you want to call it, decisions are made to go for it when you should take the points. So that happens a lot, especially last year or so. And that can be frustrating for a fan too, to not get those points when conventional wisdom says you probably should take them.
And you lost by 3. And again, hindsight's 20/20 on that. I brought it up earlier, trying to give Malik confidence at the beginning of the game, say, we think you can score a touchdown here. It blew up in their face, and that 4th down too. So I get what Sam was trying to do, but at the same time, you look at it, points were hard to come by in that game.
Points were hard to come by, but 3 more doesn't win you the game. It maybe gets you to overtime in hindsight. But, you don't get to coach the game in hindsight. So,
well, I think when if you'd settled for 3 right there and you'd kicked a field goal and it's 6-0, yes, by the end of the game, you sure would have loved to have had those 3 points. But at the time, that would have been a major win for LSU, just like the goal line stand was.
Yeah, you forget the momentum that would maybe have boosted them by. It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and always a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
So a couple callers to get to on the other side. Still a lot more takes on this Arkansas LSU loss that you came up oh so close. And we'll do that in hour number 3 next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt.
And this is Elizabeth.
And we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Mom, Dad, I have an idea. We still have a lot of inventory to the point where I'm having an avalanche of sweatshirts on a daily basis. How about we have a holiday sale so I can actually move in the stockroom?
I'm all for it, but what do you have in mind?
What if we do a discount code for the online stores so people everywhere can save on their hog stuff?
How would you tell everybody about the discount code?
Y'all know that Twitter, Facebook Live
You mean
thingy?
Facebook Live.
The dad side is strong with this one.
Anyway, what if I do one every Monday announcing what the code is for that week?
That's what I'm saying. Tune in every Monday morning to the Stadium Shop Facebook and Twitter pages to get weekly updates on what's new and what the discount code for the week is.
Also, stop by the store and take advantage of our inventory reduction sale going on now until Christmas.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville.
Or you can use the code of the week and go online to shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
It just doesn't get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Don't just survive the holidays, thrive. Treat yourself to a new hot tub to soak away the stress and soreness that comes with the busiest time of the year. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. Burton's has over 80 hot tubs in stock, starting at $34.99 and payments as low as $47 a month with approved credit. Visit Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith and start hot tubbing right away. Visit burtonpools.com for all the details.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you can save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry! A deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Paschal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Paschal protection plan. Call the pros at Paschal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting bays with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Bite this network with an urgent weekend morning update. You can go back to sleep. That's right, relax. Because Hardee's now serves their new Super Biscuit sandwiches every day and until noon on weekends. So you can rise and dine with a whole lot of meat on a made-from-scratch biscuit. More on this whenever you wake up and get back from Hardee's. Bite into the new Super Sausage and Super Bacon Biscuits only at Hardee's. For a limited time at participating Hardee's. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the cloud cover today. It looks like our temperatures will be in the mid-40s north and then falling through the lower 40s further south. We're looking at clouds and occasional rain, maybe a little snow across the north tonight. Overnight lows in the low 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
You kicked the butt of the best football team in America.
Yeah! Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman, he ain't afraid of no work.
Daniels takes the snap, and that's it. Sam Pittman makes his way to midfield. Brian Kelly coming across the field for LSU. Man, the Hogs fought today. It was quite a football game. But LSU comes away with a 13-10 victory.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
This is the best game you played defensively all year long. LSU, who had been riding high behind quarterback Jaden Daniels, came in 15 total touchdowns those last 4 games. You really shut them out the majority of that football game. But offensively, didn't show up in that game, unfortunately. We'll talk about what this played out in this game coming up in just a bit.
Hot Take Monday, always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes along with every new RV they sell. That's because you get a lifetime warranty on every new unit. Plus, they have a mobile service shuttle that will come to you that keeps camping so easy for you. So come on by Wheels RV and find out why, again, they were voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas's defense gave you several takeaways on Saturday. You really weren't able to convert on them, especially in the red zone at certain points. And guys, I honestly thought that the offense was going to be inspired by the defense and just how well they played, again, their best game. But for whatever reason, offensively, you couldn't get anything going in that football game.
Well, they weren't able to throw early on. I mean, they weren't a threat to throw. And, LSU had a pretty good idea of what Arkansas was going to do. And, I thought going into the game it was going to be a defensive struggle. I did not expect a high-scoring game. The conditions had a lot to do with that. Personnel had a lot to do with that. I thought if Arkansas was going to win it, it was going to have to be a low-scoring game because I just didn't think they'd be able to score a lot of points, without having KJ in there. So they did what they had to do to put themselves in a position to win. But I do think early on, just the inability to throw the ball, and not just early on, really. The whole game. Just the inability to throw the ball gave LSU's defense a big head start.
Lock of the year was the under. Snow's falling Friday night, and I did not bet on this game. I wish I would have because I thought Arkansas was going to somehow, some way find a way to cover when Saturday morning rolled around. Didn't feel that this week, but
and it went to 5 or 6. It elevated as we got closer to game time.
So what ended up happening is snowfall's on the ground Friday night. I've got several friends that use the Bet Saracen app. They get on it. All of them bet $50 on the under. They made some money. That was.
I can't imagine it was 22.5.
So in other words, this thing played out about like you thought it would.
Like you said, once the cold impact, and I know Kelly downplayed it this week, but dude, y'all hadn't been in this weather for 6 months.
So let's not just go crazy over the fact the offense didn't score a lot of points. The point that I'm making is that I think everybody had an idea this was going to be a low-scoring game going in. So, if that was your thought going in, let's not complain too much about them not putting 30 on the board because we didn't think that was going to happen anyway.
But I think to that point, the defense did so much to help carry the offense in this one, and you still weren't able to do anything outside that one long ball to Matt where Cade got drilled by Perkins on that play and ended up making a great touchdown. It's one thing to say, well, you're not expecting much
but
out
that's
of them.
The way low-scoring games are. That's the way they are. LSU they scored 32 against Alabama. They scored 13 Saturday. They didn't set the world on fire offensively either. So, it was that kind of ball game where you're probably only going to have a handful of chances to make plays, and LSU just made a few more.
Which magnifies the decision to go for it on 4th down and not kick the field goal. But, you still wouldn't have won the football game. You'd have gotten maybe to overtime if everything else played out the same.
But that was still early in the game.
But it was early.
Just to assume that, if you take the 3 points there, everything's going to play out the very same way and you're going to be right there at the end. That's doing a lot of assuming. But look, here's the deal. When you make a decision like that and it works, it's a great call. When it doesn't work, you're an idiot. Or worse, if you don't even think about doing it, like Kelly did against Florida State back at the start of the year, you're a wimp. So, it's one of those plays. If it works, it's a great call. If it doesn't work, it's what were you thinking?
Let's talk to Nelson and Harrison. Go ahead, Nelson.
Hey, guys, I got a few real quick things. The first thing is going for it on 1st down was not a problem. Going for it on 4th down with 12 yards to go when you should have punted it and let your defense have a chance to stop them was a major problem.
What 4th down are you talking about? Near midfield?
Yeah. Because then you gave them that touchdown.
That was not 4th and 12, but it was 4th down, obviously, yes.
And, then you gave them that because it ended up being a sack, and you gave them the ball, and that's when they got their touchdown. So, anyways, that's one major issue. And Ty, what you're saying about Perkins, man, Hornsby had 10 yards on that dude, and he still caught him. He caught him 3 times. He was fast. He was quick. They chipped him with Trey Knox. They even chipped him with Sanders a couple times, and he beat them all. That was just
you good, Nelson?
That was just
choked up.
A great player.
Yeah. And the fourth down you're thinking about, Nelson, was 4th and 2 at the LSU 48.
We got 4th and 8. We've got 4th and 2.
Well, I'm looking right at it. It was 4th and 2. You lost 12 yards on the play.
Yeah, they lost 12 yards.
That's the play you're talking
that's
about.
12. He slipped, and they lost that yard.
It's not. It was 4th and 2 at the 48.
It's expanded.
No, I'm telling. This isn't a fish story. It was 4th and 2, and you lost 12 yards.
Chuck, we fielded
factual statement.
We fielded a call earlier.
Oh, that's the 4th call we've had on it. It's been 4th and 3, 4th and 5, 4th and 12. It's
just gone up.
It was 4th and 2.
Bigger and bigger.
And it was in the third quarter, not the fourth.
Did they score? I don't even. Did they? Is Nelson right? Did they actually score a touchdown on that possession?
I think they scored twice off that.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Scored 15 on that.
They scored 15 off that bad decision there. Let's see. LSU took it next, and yes, they scored a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah,
13-3. That was their final score.
I guess Butte caught that post route, and then they punched it in after that, if I remember that right. They shut down Butte the most of the game. I mean, Barry Odom's done a really admirable job this last game and a half. Now, they didn't necessarily do that in the first half against Liberty, but everyone, and this was without Slusher too. And I know that there's been games this season that he hasn't participated, but they just got after Daniels. Didn't know what was going on in that game. They were in the backfield. We're talking about Perkins being in Arkansas's backfield. Drew Sanders and company were in Jaden Daniels' backfield all game long. I mean, he didn't have anywhere to throw the ball to, and when he did, he was getting hit too.
Oh, Arkansas's game plan was great defensively. I mean, they they played their best game of the year. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Let's talk to Woods at Benville. Go ahead, Woods.
Hey, guys. Only a couple comments. I'm glad I didn't catch you before the break. That way that I didn't get cut off. But I was really happy with the effort that the team gave this week. It was, it could have gone really south if you think about it. But also, Chuck, quit stroking Charlie Boyce's ego. Him and Clint Brandon couldn't find the left-handed curveballs in the storage facility whenever they were freshmen. So
here we go.
Yeah. And this is what happens, Ty. When you're the young guy, you get picked on.
I'm used to it, man.
So my other thing is I'm tossing my hat into the ring, and I hope that there's people in the Burlsworth Foundation that are listening to this. I'm going to be the head of the Stetson Bennett, his campaign.
Campaign manager
to win that award.
Yeah.
I think Woods, appreciate the call. I'd be shocked if Bennett didn't win it this year. I mean, I would think that he's pretty much a shoe-in.
What more do you need to do?
National champion.
Maybe twice national champion. The award will be handed out before then. But
undefeated, and that's probably going to go to him. Let's talk to Randy in Fort Smith. Go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to comment on the not just letting Daniels go one-on-one with your right tackle.
Perkins,
we did. Yeah, Perkins. Yeah, Perkins. He did. We did double team him a couple of times, and he didn't even get off the line of scrimmage. The last play of the game, the running back that went off into the flat, he should have chipped him, or somebody should have chipped him. But I'm a Cowboy fan, and I watched Micah Parsons last night. He didn't have one-on-one any play in that game, so couldn't allow that guy to do that. Sorry, guys, I'm working out. But easy enough. You have to do something when a guy's killing you like that.
What are you doing right now, Randy? Are you bench?
Is it leg day or arm day?
Well, today is leg day, and I'm just getting loose right here, brother. And I'm going to hit it pretty hard here in a minute.
Does the morning rush get your adrenaline pumping? Is it that extra incentive? Is it like that?
I'm going to say this. No problem with the effort, and I'm definitely not on the fire pitman at this point. But I don't like some things I'm seeing, but I think he can fix it. I hope he does. I really, really like him, and I love the defense too, bringing the blitz. I've always been a guy that's going to be aggressive. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die fast. Well, I better get off here. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Well,
I was going to say, you keep making him talk, he's going to have a heart attack.
Chuck likes a good squat rack, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, everybody does.
What do you think you leg press there, Chuck?
I'm not getting into that.
You don't want to brag. You don't want to brag, do you?
I'll get it. And that's, I mean,
You
you're
don't wanna
looking at a
brag,
guy,
do you?
and Chuck's got some bowed up cannons down there. I'd be shocked if it was anything.
Tree trunks.
If he's not leg pressing anything less than 400 pounds. I mean, that's a.
Don't sell him short. He's more in the 450 man.
That's a country Clarksville boy right there. That's a guy that is just bred the right way. Chuck Barrett can leg press 450 easily. All right, is this you said?
One-legged.
Is this a first time? Yeah, that's not. I don't even know what he can do. 2 legs, Tommy. Is this, you said this guy's a first time caller, Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys. I just want to be positive this morning. I just want to let y'all know I'm a happy Hog fan. We just went through 10 years of misery. Every game we've lost this year, it seemed like we were one play away, and it would have changed the outcome of the game. So I just go Hogs. Let's be positive. What do y'all think?
I think we lose sight of the fact that when you played the number 7 team in the country for the better part of the last decade, you didn't stand a chance to be within a field goal at the end of the game.
The overall trajectory is still headed in the right direction. The overall trajectory is still headed where we want to go.
I think that you can have positive and negative thoughts based on you. You don't want to just be, hey, we played them tough, rah. You've beaten better LSU teams before. You just have. So I get that perspective, but I also get that you're proud of your football team, giving it all. It comes down to 1 or 2 plays at the end. This doesn't have to be, oh, we should have lost to LSU, or you have to be 100% positive. You can be on both sides. I think that's where I come down this morning. I'm proud of how they played, but they also had multiple chances to win that football game and be bowl eligible as of Saturday afternoon.
You could have also lost this game 27-10, and the mood would be much different. The takes would be much different. It's the fact that you lost by a field goal that magnifies a few decisions and a few thoughts, and the fact that you lose by a field goal, Chuck, without your starting quarterback, I think just magnifies the rawness of the nerve and the emotion with the fans.
Well, I mean, it's one of those games where you stay up because there's a million ways you could have won the game.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that keep you up at night, I'm sure. But again, I said this in the first hour, and I know it's not much consolation, but guys, before Sam Pittman in the 3 years, we were 8-28. We were 1-23 in the SEC. We weren't even also ran. We were a flat-out nobody. We were getting hammered on our home field by North Texas and Western Kentucky. Vanderbilt came in here and beat us by 2 touchdowns. San Jose State came to Fayetteville and won a game. Let's not lose sight of that. In the 3 years since he's been here, we're 17-16. Not where we want to end up, but a hell of a lot better than we were before.
That's
that's just the truth. We used to say, how many of us, I just want to be competitive.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get blown out. Well, that's where we are right now. We've gotten to that point. And getting to the point beyond that's the hardest part. Cracking that glass ceiling's the hardest part. It's not easy to go from 0-16 in the SEC to 500. That's not easy to do, but it's even harder to get to the point where you want to be. That's where we are right now. You got to go. I mean, the answer always lies on the recruiting trail. That's the only place the answer ever lies, is on the recruiting trail.
I know you guys watch SEC now and see the wrap-up, and it's hard to not remember or not see and then remember and reflect back to the area you're talking about. When Clark Lee, whose Vanderbilt program won at Kentucky this weekend, their first win since, 2019 in an SEC game, and he's choked up in tears trying to talk after the game. And, it didn't take long listening to him and the emotion he had, and I know that's Vanderbilt and we're Arkansas, but Arkansas was exactly where Vanderbilt is today, celebrating that first win. And
you don't get from point A to point D without going through points B and C. And those are the 2 toughest areas to go through. And, we made a big jump last year and got every break there was to get. And this year we've not gotten a lot of those breaks. Health has been a big issue this year where really wasn't so much an issue last season.
But
hey, if you're in the market to sell or buy a home, if you're in the real estate game right now, I want you to consider partnering with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. What I can tell you is my experience. I partnered with them to sell a home, and I partnered with them to buy a home. Market always seems to be changing. It was then, it is now. And that's why you need a trained real estate professional, somebody that does this every day, somebody that goes through the best training program in the business. They know how to negotiate. They know the nuances of the market. They know what to offer, what to ask for. All the things that you've got to do if you're going to make a good decision in a real estate transaction. I think that's going to be your experience too. Now, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company's got an office in Fayetteville. There's another one in Springdale. They've got a location in Bentonville. They're in Fort Smith. I know you've seen the yellow signs there. They've opened an office in Branson, Missouri. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
I don't know if KJ Jefferson's 100% going to be back for Ole Miss. Here are Coach's comments on what that could look like.
We get a healthy KJ back, motivation. That would motivate me. Your best player on your team can come back and play. That would motivate all of us. So we got beat. We got beat by the number 10 team in the country. We want to win, and I feel terrible, but I felt worse last week. We can go win with a defense that plays like that. So at least we're rallying around and played better. The result was the same, which is terrible. I do think we'll rally around. I think we'll have a really good game plan and play well against Ole Miss. And I think we'll play well the week after that as too.
Let's say KJ has a setback this week and he's still not healthy enough. What's the game plan this week? What's the game plan leading to Ole Miss?
I don't think that scenario is going to come up. I think that's a far-fetched scenario. I don't think there's going to be a setback this week. I don't. I mean, he's not going to be getting hit. Everything's had an opportunity to rest. I don't see how there could be a setback during the week. Now, he may take a shot on Saturday that sets him back, but I don't think that there's a scenario by which someone other than KJ will start Saturday night unless he gets hit by a truck between now and then.
So we, at that point, assume he's probably going to play and start on Saturday?
Well, that's basically what I just said, yeah. I expect him to start Saturday. I sure do.
And maybe thinking about this a little more and unraveling the idea that he's from Mississippi. Ole Miss was a school, and winning that game's important to him. Maybe that's kind of been the plan, is to sacrifice his inability to go this past week against LSU to make sure he's ready to go against Ole Miss. I think that's more of a motivating factor than maybe we've calculated leading into all of this.
I expect if he's got a great game left in him, I mean, if his body will allow him to have a great game, I think it'll be Saturday night. I would think there won't be anybody in the stadium more ready for that game to kick off than KJ Jefferson.
We heard from other players, including KJ, about what it meant to beat Auburn. And leading up to that week, they wanted to send the seniors out, some guys like Bumper and Dalton who've been here for quite some time. We got to remember, it's also senior night in Fayetteville. You want to be able to win that final home game of the season. You haven't won at home since September. You didn't play it all in October. And you also want to send those guys out with the bowl eligibility and the fact that you are going to a bowl game. You can do that on Saturday night against a good football team that only lost to Alabama by 6 points at home this past week. It's not going to be easy, but there is a lot that plays into that idea on what you're going up against on Saturday night.
Going to be interesting to see what Ole Miss, how they play, how they approach this. I mean, they lost a game Saturday night. It was a heartbreaker, and I mean, as a result of their loss and LSU wins, I mean, it's over in the West. So, we'll see what they've got to play for. We tend to focus on our guys, and that's understandable. But, Ole Miss has got a big challenge ahead of them this week too.
Yeah. I just had someone send a text in a minute ago, and we talk about Ole Miss and their perspective. The other perspective we could have, too, if we stop and think about it, you end up playing without KJ, you play two different quarterbacks in the game, and you're still within a field goal of the number 7 team in the country. That's frustrating, but again, you're right there in a lot of ways.
I'll go back to what I said earlier. It's the fact that it's coupled with the loss to Liberty.
Absolutely.
Just like earlier in the year for, the next month, every bad thing that happened was coupled with the game they lost to Texas A&M. But I think if you look at it individually, and if Arkansas had played against Liberty the way they played against LSU, they'd have won. But they didn't, and so they are where they are.
Hey, do you have a loan with a variable to balloon interest rate? Maybe it's coming due at the end of the year. That could be a problem because your rates are going up. That means your payment's going up. Lock in long-term fixed rates with Farm Credit right now for the life of your loan. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, and set your operation up for success and rest easy with Farm Credit, an equal housing lender.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Time at participating parties. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The teams that do well have the quarterback that's the combo guy. I mean, everybody wants a quarterback that can run. The days of the prototypical NFL-type quarterback, you don't see a lot of those in college football. You just don't anymore. Everybody wants what Arkansas and LSU had.
Started out 2-0 in the regular season for Razorback basketball. Had another game this past Friday night, which you won pretty convincing fashion. I want to come back to it coming up in just a bit.
Hey, we're brought to you by WT Equipment. They have 8 locations taking care of customers across Arkansas and North Louisiana. One's near you in either Searcy or in Springdale. In fact, the location in Springdale is just off the Don Tyson exit. Take 48th, you go down there maybe a quarter of a mile, and you'll see the entrance to WT Equipment. Sales, service, parts, everything you need for the farm equipment or the construction equipment is there, whether it's the fall planting and fall harvest that you're finishing up, or maybe you got a job site, you need excavators and track hose and equipment like that. They've got it, new and pre-owned inventory. So when you're ready to invest in agricultural or construction equipment, only one place to go. That's WT Equipment. Find all 8 locations online at WTEquip.com.
Chuck, I was really impressed with Mekhi Mitchell's play as well. I know the center position after Jalen departed is that was of question. And he's still got to fill it the rest of the way, but I thought he had a really good game, especially on the defensive and rebounding end this past Friday.
I think they'll be able to defend around the basket really well this year. I think he'll help them in that area, and I think they've got some other guys that will too, but he runs the floor, and that is the one thing. I mean, we think of center, you think of the old, back to the basket at the low block. It's not really that way now, certainly not in this system, but he's a big guy, runs the floor, active. I think he's got a chance to help them.
They've got a lot of guys that haven't necessarily – you're still waiting on to see 100% if they could just explode offensively. I think that they've just they're still waiting on what their roles are going to shape out to be. Are we really going to see them until Nick Smith is back on the floor? We're going to see what this overall team looks like until Nick's back in the fold?
I don't think so.
Well, you're not going to see the finished product without him, no. No. You won't see the finished product until he's been out there for a while.
And, we saw, a video on Twitter or whatever of him practicing with a brace.
Yeah.
I don't know that means he plays this week against South Dakota State. I don't know what it means. You'd like to see a little bit of a trial run, I think, before you go to Maui. But with the way Louisville's playing, I don't think you can take anybody for granted, but maybe you feel like you got a better chance than maybe you did a month ago of winning that basketball game.
Well, you'd love to go out there and win the thing. You'd love to go out there and have him play and be the MVP, and you go 3-0, and everybody in America's talking about you. You'd love for that to happen. But what you really want to have happen is that when you get to the meaningful games, he's 100%. You don't want to do anything at all during the early part of this season that's going to change that. This is a good team. This is a team that ought to be able to win the bulk of their games without him. Not saying that they're going to go undefeated. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you ought to be able to do well without him. They certainly have so far. Competition's going to get a little bit better when you go over to Hawaii, probably. But you've got to make certain that when you get to the point where it really matters, that you've got him 100%. And beyond that, this is a special player. This is a special player. and you want to be able to sign more special players. And so you want to make certain that you handle this special player the right way and put his best interest as your best interest, because great players watch and see if you do that, believe me.
Let me argue the other side of that a little bit about the importance of the games in Maui. You got Creighton coming up perhaps in your second game if you win. I mean, you have a good chance to play another top 10 team. What that does for your net rankings now may ultimately be the deciding factor in a difference in a higher seed or a lower seed, Chuck, because these are games that will carry a little more weight, I believe, at the end of the year with the metrics.
Well, certainly with if you're looking at the analytics, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're not important games. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm just simply saying that, yeah, you want to go over there and do well. You want to win every game for a lot of reasons, including the one you just said. But what you really want to make certain of is that you get the best Nick Smith whenever he comes back. And you want to make sure you do right by him, too. And, look, if that includes going over there to Maui and playing him and all that, then great. I hope that's what happens. But if your medical team tells you that might not be the best thing to do, you got to listen to them as well.
Having him in March is certainly more important than having him in November. Now, one of the things coming up this week on your pack schedule will be back at Sassy's. I know Sassy's Original Red House on North College, the location on Steamboat Drive, great stuff to eat for lunch or dinner. I know the patio might be a little bit of a questionable thing on which day you go by right now, but they got great outdoor dining when the temperature's just right, great barbecue, and you're back there every week for a while, Chuck, with Eric Musselman Live.
There tonight, as a matter of fact, at the Red House on North College, Joseph Pinion and Darian Ford will be there tonight. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing on the menu at Sassy's when you're there?
I like the smoked wings. I'm a smoked wings guy.
Honey sriracha?
I think they make my personal, I just like them naked with a little bit of ranch sauce on the side. That's the way I go.
All right. Honey sriracha is hard for me to pass.
That's what you and I always do when we go.
That's a hard one. All right, that's Sassy's Original Red House on North College tonight for Eric Musselman Live.
All right, so we're going to talk some SEC football when we come back. Georgia got their business done in Starkville this week, and Tennessee bounced back against Missouri and throttled the Tigers. That was a close game for a little bit, and then Tennessee's offense and company kind of took over. Hendon Hooker still very much in the Heisman race based on the way that he's played.
They ran it up.
Yeah.
They ran it up on him.
They struggled for a while. I mean, it was closer than it should have been for a while. I mean, then they, third quarter just kind of blew it out.
And they got 60 plus on it. That's what's Tennessee's offense is special.
Explosive.
And you need the style points with TCU still in play for the college football playoff. We were kind of talking that earlier. Now we're number 2. I mean, right now it's between Tennessee and TCU who's going to get that 4th spot. And I know Ohio State and Michigan, one of them will play themselves out in that final game of the weekend in Columbus. But at some point, that's going to be a huge discussion when it comes to the Vols. If they have one loss and the Horned Frogs, they're undefeated. We'll get into more of that when we come back with your SEC update.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts!
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's going to believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Frank Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
It's time to plan the Christmas party for your business or family, and the place to make it a special and memorable time is at Doe's Eat Place in Fort Smith. Award-winning steaks and atmosphere, along with the largest wine selection in the River Valley, await your memorable evening. If you're thinking about what to get that hard-to-impress boss or family member, gift certificates from Doe's are sure to impress and bring a smile to their face. Don't delay making your reservations. Call Doe's Eat Place at 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 3rd Street. Open 5 till 9 Monday through Thursday and 5 till 10 Friday and Saturday.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you could save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Have a loan with a variable to balloon rate? That might be a problem if it's due to reprice soon. Let Farm Credit fix your problem with a long-term fixed interest rate loan. Farm Credit's terms are the longest in the ag industry, ensuring you'll have peace of mind for years to come. At Farm Credit, you have nothing to lose. When rates begin to drop, you can easily readjust your rate again with no refinancing application, no new appraisals, no new title work. We make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise, with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So I was mentioning Tennessee beat Missouri a little earlier before we were went to break 66-24 the final in Knoxville. It took them a little bit to get the offense full flowing, Tommy, but once they did, Eli Drinkwitz and company didn't really have much of a shot.
And what was it, 28-24 at one point in the second quarter, and it made me think, and I think I tweeted out, still got Missouri circled as a win, question mark. I mean, they'd had a pretty good run for a while in that game, then Tennessee did what they do. Their offense just exploded, and they won handily going away. But point still from the Arkansas seat is Missouri's not going to be just a circle win, a game that you can just count on going to Columbia. I don't even think even at home, but certainly on the road, not going to be a place because they're going to badly need and want that win, just like Arkansas hopefully won't be going in there trying to get bowl eligible.
Yep, which could be the case. Vanderbilt, you referenced this earlier with Clark Lee and company getting their first win. They go to Lexington and beat Kentucky 24-21 in that one. Alabama survives in Oxford 30-24. I don't know if you saw the soundbite from Lane Kiffin. He was asked about Quinshon Judkins, who's an Alabama kid, 3-star that wasn't looked at offered by Alabama, and he had a good game. But Coach was asked about that. He was like, "I don't give a bleep. We lost the game." And I think so.
It's bottom line,
yeah. And on the LSU thing, the game on Saturday, and this is kind of where I come down. There are some positives you can take away. Best defensive game of the season. They showed up. I want to give credit to all the crowd members and stuff. But at the end of the day, you still lost. And you had every chance to win. You still lost the football game. And I think that's what it's aggravating to fans is like, man, you should be bowl eligible right now. They gave you gift after gift, and you just didn't take advantage of it. That's why fans are mad this morning, I think. It's still frustrating.
Well, I think it's also what we've talked about throughout the morning. If you win the Liberty game, the tone of this show, the tone of the calls, the tone of the text are a lot different. I mean, if you lost to number 7, by the same outcome, same result, but you'd had Liberty as a win the week before, we're just viewing this different. Maybe even the A&M game. You feel like you've let a couple off the hook. You got 3 games right there that all have been decided by, less than a possession. You look at 2-point game, 3-point game the last 2 weeks, 2-point game against A&M. Those are the bitter ones to swallow, and Arkansas really hadn't had a win where you felt like you escaped on that one. You've either won kind of convincingly or not down into the end, or you've had 3 narrow losses that are really sticking in your craw.
Florida stomps South Carolina in the swamp 38-6. Georgia goes to Starkville, take care of business 45-19, and then Cadillac Williams. How about it? First win as the interim head coach, 13-10 over Texas A&M. Jimbo's making $9 million, Cadillac's making $400K, and they win on Saturday.
Well, I mean, we only point that out when the result comes out. We only point out what a team makes to come in and play you when they upset someone in a non-conference game. So, that's not the point. The point is, where does A&M sit right now? Tomorrow we'll do our SEC rankings. Are they number 14 in this conference right now? They have the worst record. They've lost 6 in a row. Is A&M the worst team in the SEC?
With the number 1 recruiting class?
Are they the worst team right now? That's a question we'll get to tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll have a big question that awaits your SEC power rankings on that.
May have already made my decision.
I might just do that for fun. All right, that's the notes on the games this weekend. But man, oh man, it's heating up in College Station. I don't know what they're going to do down there.
They're not going to pay him $85 million.
They're going to go scorched earth with the assistants. Are they going to purge that staff? You're pretty steadfast in that he's not. There's nothing that
It's $85 million.
There's nothing, but it only goes down to 70 something next year, right?
75.
Is that that big of a deal? I mean, what if they? You're talking.
Well, you're coming from the standpoint it can never get better. What you're seeing now is the way it will always be.
What I'm more asking is if it's not that much of a drop off next year. Are they going to have to wait another year after that? Right?
I don't know when you. I mean. Sometimes you got to take your medicine on a bad decision. This is a bad decision they got themselves into, a bad contract situation, and they're going to have to take their medicine for a while.
What's a while, though? What's the time? I mean,
until they find the dirt on him to fire him with cause, I guess. I don't know.
There's plenty of dirt down there in College Station. Don't worry about that.
What is it then?
What is it?
Yeah, what is the reason you could fire him with cause?
They could go find it. Recruiting violations. Those guys cheat. Aggies cheat, man. It's not that hard to
then
find.
What is it? You say it, but, I mean, you got to have some proof.
I'll go down.
That'll hold up.
You can pay for my trip down to College Station. I could find something within a week.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty certain right now.
100%. There's something going on down there. Or prior to. Maybe, before NIL, you're going to tell me that you don't think they cheated in any way, shape, or form?
It's one thing for what you think. It's another thing for what you can prove.
I bet.
This is high stakes here in a lot of ways. You've got a huge buyout.
Correct.
I mean, you're not talking about just paying off Jimbo. You're talking about coming up with another $100 million for your next coach. Because how many times do you hear about the next one getting paid less? Now, that's not all at once. Then you got to hire that staff. Then
and you lost to that football team. A team that hasn't won a game since. You lost to them.
Yeah.
A backup quarterback, I might add. Haynes Keene started the season, and Max Johnson was in. You've lost to two backups and a guy that came in and backed up Bryce Young after he got injured this year.
And you played with your backup a couple of times, too.
And you haven't won a game doing that.
Well, we all said, B just texted us in, and we've all said this going in, no KJ, no win. I don't know why we're sitting here just gritting our teeth and just pissed off. You knew it going in that if KJ didn't play, you weren't going to win the game.
Because you've lost to backups. That's why fans are angry and frustrated. Because you, as a football team, have lost to backups. But you
expect the number 7 team in the country to come in here and lose to a backup.
All I'm saying is Arkansas has lost to two backups this season. It started from the jump, and they lost to Alabama's backup in the second half. And you, as a football team, can't find a way to win with a backup quarterback. And again, it's better. I mean, it's Mississippi State on the road. It's LSU at home, which is going to be the SEC.
Right, so you're not counting Bennett against Liberty as backup. So
no, I did.
Well, because you lost to Milroe too. He played.
That's what I'm saying.
Then
Bennett,
you lost
Johnson, and Liberty's quarterback.
So
that's 3. And that's what I'm saying. Second half.
Yeah. So I mean, listen. When you go out there with that, your best players have to be your best players. When your best players can't play, games like Saturday, you can't make any other mistakes. Arkansas made a few other mistakes.
But in that case, that's when your best players have more of an impact. That's where your offensive line that was supposedly a Joe Moore or offensive line. And
you were without a starter there, too.
And again, the captain thing that we brought up earlier, the fact that in this past game, 3 or 4 captains didn't participate due to injury is also a huge part of that.
Yeah, but Catalan, I mean, I understand he was a captain prior to the season, but I mean, to say Catalan's the captain of this team, I'm not even sure how much he's around the team right now. I mean, but the point, I understand. The point holds some water, and your best players have to be your best players. And when they're not there, it puts you in a tight. Arkansas just doesn't have the depth in every spot. All right, that's your SEC update. Cooler weather's already here. Did your heat your home this weekend? If not, it's time to call Ashley Air. Their trained technicians will come out, perform a fall tune-up for you. The colder days are still not even here. We got colder days that are on the way. Ashley Air can get your heat working the way you want. It's part of their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get your fall tune-up for $69 right now with Ashley Air. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule yours. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
I want to go back to something Ricky Stromberg said on Saturday following the game that some fans took issue with. Here was what he said about Harold Perkins.
No game plan for him, really. We knew the whole time, the whole week he was going to be out there. We knew he was out there. He could fire. We knew when he was in the box, whenever we were in pass protection, that he would spy. He would stay on the quarterback. We didn't really game plan for him. I think he just got put in good situations to make good plays, and he did.
So if you didn't game plan for him during the week,
I think that's being taken a little out of
That,
context. But
okay.
Because he just went through, well, we knew this, we knew this, and we knew this. I think what he's saying is we didn't have a game plan only for him. But, I mean, he just went through about 3 or 4 things, including he's going to spy in these situations. He's going to do. I mean, he ran through it, so clearly they had scouted and knew what they were.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's being blown out of proportion a little bit as, they didn't even know Perkins was going to be out there. Well, I mean, come on. Let's be a little more fair about what's saying, because we've had some pretty nasty text and stuff about that this morning that like there was incompetence going on. That's not what Stromberg was saying.
Yeah, and I realize that great players make great plays, and Perkins, even as a true freshman, we saw firsthand on Saturday. Again, you got to play him 2 more years, which is not going to be any fun, but I just think in that situation after he just forced what we thought was going to be a fumble, luckily Cade's arm was moving forward, and then he ended up basically doing the exact same thing and then actually forcing the fumble and end the game. I don't know the answer in that situation. I just know they didn't have one for him on Saturday.
No, I mean,
at all. And I said it earlier, and I still stick at this. He single-handedly won the game for LSU. He shut down Malik running the football, and then he forced that turnover and was he was killing Rocket, killing AJ. I mean, he killed you the whole game, and no answer at all from anyone on that Arkansas offense. And coach wasn't just honest about the offensive line. If you're a running back, you got to break some tackles. He was talking about he didn't feel like they broke a tackle until the fourth quarter. Felt like that Arkansas every time they were going to make a play, they'd get hit, and they couldn't shake that one guy in order to make that game-changing play.
Well, and despite all the faults and all the flaws and all the missed mistakes and, for all the accusations of everything this morning about, where you missed along the way, you were still within a field goal of the number 7 team in the country on a cold day where I thought the bitterly cold weather kind of neutralized and equalized and gave you a chance. That game had been played in 55 degrees or 60-degree weather. Probably not talking about the same outcome. I think it made it tough on both sides because Arkansas hadn't acclimated to that. It's not like Arkansas had been hanging around, running around in cold weather for weeks, and then LSU had to come north. You still, despite all that, had a chance to win the game.
Michael said, texted this morning, too bad we didn't have tape on UConn on how to block Liberty, as UConn defeated Liberty this weekend. One of the worst teams in college football beat Liberty.
Clearly, Liberty put all their effort and focus into beating Arkansas, right? What meant more to them, beating Arkansas or losing to UConn?
Beating an SEC team.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, that's Hot Take Monday. Hope you got your hot takes in. We'll be back tomorrow as well. It's always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance. Always at a great price. Plus, Lee J and Chris and the crew go an extra step for you with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's how much they believe in the brands they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Halftime coming up. Phil Elson back in the captain's chair with Matt Jones and Matt Travis later on. Ruskin and Zach as well coming up. Tommy, I know we looked at this. We haven't got the game time announcement for Saturday,
6
right?
or 6:30. I would lean towards 6:30 in the SEC Network assignment, just based on the fact that both teams had lost. But I guess we'll find out officially. I hadn't seen anything officially.
Yeah, I think you might find out at halftime later on.
Don't just survive.